Hi there everyone, welcome again to Indian Story Read Along. Today's story is from my book, More Tales from the Panchatantra. Panchatantra was a bunch of stories that were gathered together in ancient times when there were kings and queens and magic and animals could talk and all these cool things. And they always have some kind of moral or lesson at the end of the story. So this one takes place in a pond. It's called Ekabuddhi. And Ekabuddhi actually, if you have any background in Sanskrit, Eka means one, Buddhi means brain or intelligence. So whoever this person is, Ekabuddhi, they have one-pointed intelligence. They're focused. So two fish named Shatabuddhi and Sahasrabuddhi, a frog named Ekabuddhi, and his wife all lived together in a shallow pond. So that frog over there is Ekabuddhi, the one who's swimming, I think. One evening, two fishermen happened to pass by the pond. And so they're saying, and they're seeing the fish leap. They're looking at the frog too, but it's mainly the fish. Look at those beauties. Let's get to work and catch them. And then the other fisherman says, not now, it's getting dark. We'll come back in the morning. So then you see that Ekabuddhi was sitting up there on that lily pad, and he hears this entire conversation, even if his fish friends did not hear it. So he says, did you hear that? We better flee from here. And then one of the fish say, certainly not. We'll stay on. Anything can happen. They might not come tomorrow. And then Ekabuddhi is like, well, suppose they do come, like they said they would. And then the other fish says, the yellow fish says, if they do, I know 1,000 tricks by which I can save all four of us. And the other fish says, the purple one says, no, Ekabuddhi, we should not abandon our home for fear of the words of some fishermen. But see, Ekabuddhi is kind of like, well, they told us exactly what they are going to do. And they have an interest in catching you fish because you will be a lot of money for them. So like we know what's going to happen. Like we're like 99% sure. Then the purple fish says, you are right, Sahasrabuddhi, to the other fish, the yellow one. Besides, I know another 100 tricks if your 1,000 fail. Okay, here's a life lesson. Never, ever, ever listen to anyone who says this, oh, I know 100 ways to get out of that. No, you have to tell them, like, can you name one? Name one of those ways. Name one plan that you have to get out of it. And usually they've got nothing. They've got nothing. And Ekabuddhi knows this. Look, he's like, the only trick I know is to foresee danger and act accordingly. That means when you see something coming, where you are pretty sure what's going to happen, or you're not even sure, but you want to be safe, and being safe will cost you nothing except maybe a little inconvenience, then you should do that thing. So Ekabuddhi says, I am off with my wife to a safer place I know. So he got out of the pond while he still could. They both hop out and they are off to someplace else. The next morning, the fishermen did exactly what they said they were going to do. They came back in the day, and Ekabuddhi, I think, was also thinking they got lucky. Because sometimes those fishermen had, if you look at this page over here, see, they had their nets with them. They had their nets with them. They could have done it immediately, and then these guys would have no warning at all. They were lucky that they had warning. So when you have warning, don't waste it. And then, oh no, Shatabuddhi and Sahasrabuddhi are caught in the net. Oh, this net is impossible. If only I could get out, I would be able to do something. That's what I read this as a kid. And I was like, what? The whole point is to be able to do something, like your tricks have to apply when you're in the net. Like, what's the point of even having a trick if you're already out of the net? That's the point. You need to get out of the net. So like, that doesn't even make sense. And Ekabuddhi and his wife would have been part of this, all of those creatures that you see there. I think there's a water eel, there's a crab, a bunch of little baby fish, and the other fish says, we're trapped, we're finished, and they're being dragged out, and it looks as though they're dying. Oh no. So then, fishermen come out of the pond and they look at what they have, their catch that day. And then one of them says to the other, put this lot into the basket. We'll sell those two big fellows separately. They should fetch us a good price. So, like, Ekabuddhi knew exactly what was going to happen. He knew that those two guys would be worth a lot of money to the fishermen. So why wouldn't they come back? As the fisherman walked away, Ekabuddhi says to his wife, but for my cautious nature, we too would have been in that basket. The moral, prevention is better than cure. This is what I tell my kids all the time. I bet your parents tell you this as well, that, look, I'm telling you the answer. I say this to my kids all the time. I am telling you the answer. This is what's going to happen. And most of the time I'm right, because of all the other times that thing happened. If you run on the tile, you're going to slip and fall. How do I know that? From the other 100 times it's already happened. So that's what they're saying. Prevention is better than cure, because it's like you don't figure out a way to fix a situation after it's already happened. Try to prevent it. And that's one thing I like about Panchatantra stories, because they illustrate a fun way, and sometimes a sad way, that we can learn our lessons. So if you like this story, please come back again to Indian Story Read Along and join us again for another one next time.